Hey everybody, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks Live. We got Bucky here already, Tripwire, Lake. How y'all doing today? Good to see ya. Regular faces or regular handles. Glad to see y'all here. So what we got in the news now is old Trump's moving submarines. Have you heard about that? Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain. Glad y'all could make it though. Thank you for showing up. Midnight Apothecary and Bakery. Glad you could show up. Glad you could make it. Final Fantasy. Old man. Glad to see y'all here. It's good to see y'all. Seriously, I love doing these live streams and hanging out and shooting the breeze with y'all. So yeah, Trump's moving submarines and stuff, which I don't know. I just kind of find that funny. You know, he was supposed to fix all that stuff going on over there, and now he's moving subs. That just what is that, irony or whatever? Now he went from Mr. Peace and now he's acting like a warmonger, which I'm not down on the guy. You got to do what you got to do, you know. It just seems like it's just par for the course, you know. Even if he's trying to keep the peace and do the right thing, the world isn't going to let him, it seems like. So we've got some new subscribers and new people watching the show. So I'll just kick it off by saying that this is just, we do these live streams and they're just kind of free-for-alls, you know. We just talk about anything and everything, from the apocalypse to boomers, Gen Z, nostalgia, just anything and everything. And the main theme of these is question everything, you know. I do anyway, and I think most of my regular subscribers do. We question everything, just like George Carlin told us to back in the day. He was almost a prophet, you know what I'm saying? He told us, and I remember when I was a kid watching him, and I never really paid attention. But as I got older and looked back, everything he said really rung true, you know? It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, the subs are supposed to be secret. I don't know how the hell the whole world knows that they move subs over there. Why do they go underwater and try to be hidden if they're gonna broadcast to the world that they're gonna move? But maybe that was the point, to broadcast, you know, and make the movement known to everybody, make sure the Russians knew that we're moving subs over there or whatever. I don't even pretend to understand, you know, the different levels of the shell game there. Like Trip said, it's a shell game. I don't pretend to know the different levels of, you know, cat and mouse that they play with, that kind of stuff. I'm going to move some troops over here and all that. And I have questions about a lot of the stuff that we do, and a lot of our money that is spent, you know, especially on offensive maneuvers. I wouldn't question a thing that our country did in taking a defensive posture, but and I'll be honest, I don't even know what that it was a somebody else in the government, or somebody that used to be in the government over there in Russia said some stuff, and I don't even know what he said. I didn't even read what he said. I just heard that Trump moved some troops because some guy said something, some guy tweeted something. What isn't? Does that strike anyone else as crazy that we are moving, what, like hundreds of 1,000 pounds of steel now and armament because of a tweet? Does that, is this the world we're living in? You know what I mean? Does that strike anyone else as like just, from another dimension or outlandish? You know what I'm saying? We're actually mobilizing nuclear submarines because of a tweet. That shit just cracks me up. And again, I'm not down in Trump. I'm not hacking on him or anything. I don't know if what he's doing is wrong or right, but I just find it comical that, that we're taking military action over a tweet. It just strikes me as a little loony. Jason Lamore, what's up? Glad to see you here, man. Glad you could make it. No, they can't. Yeah, you're right, Bucky. Nukes can't be a sneak attack unless they, unless you get right up on the border and just make them real quick and low or something, or do get some kind of homemade dirty thing over the across the border and sneak it in and then do it. But launching nukes into the upper atmosphere and shit, no, that can never be a sneak attack, not with the technology we have today. Yeah, Trip, borrowing heavily from Sun Tzu. Yeah, but I don't know, I see more and more of this stuff happening, and not this vein of stuff. I'm just saying more stuff that's happening that just blows my mind. I'm like, is this reality? Are we actually making military decisions off of tweets and stuff? Are we being controlled by just the internet, basically? That shit blows my mind. That so much of this crap is on the internet now. So much of our thoughts, our ideas, our language, and it's crazy. It's hard to believe that the internet contains so much, right? And so much power to persuade, power to brainwash, and all that shit. Explorator. I don't mind his. Yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, Explorator, I agree. I don't mind his aggro moves like that. Explorator says, and Biden took it all on the chin. Yeah, no, I'm not like hacking on the dude for doing it. I'm just saying I'm sure he had a very, his reasons are very good. I'm not saying he shouldn't have done it or anything like that. Laura Ann, what's up? April, what's up? Popeye, nice handle, Popeye. But it just seems crazy to me that that they're taking military action because of some dude tweeted some shit on the other side of the planet. That just cracks me up. I don't know. I can't get over that shit. So, but that's the world we live in now, I guess. Yeah, is it exactly midnight? I constantly think that about almost anything now. Is it just a big psyop? I don't know. I don't know. It very well could be. Okay, just in case the dumb shit the guy said was not a joke. All right. Yeah. He probably had valid reasons for it. I'm not arguing that. It's just it still seems just unreal to me that we're doing it over a tweet. Oh, okay. Trip, Republican or Representative, AP Luna. Okay, I'm going to have to look into that, Trip. I'm unfamiliar with Luna. Bullish on parade. Yeah, exactly. And we knew that growing up. We were taught that growing up, bullish. Speak gently or walk softly and carry a big stick. Yep. That's exactly what you do. Yeah. It's just that I get afraid sometimes that we're not walking softly anymore as a nation, at the United States, the government, and that not necessarily Trump. I'm not directing this at Trump, but our military industrial complex and the government and all that, I'm always afraid that we're kind of turning into the bully. That is a understatement of the year, but I don't want to see us become the bully. But I'm afraid we already have long ago. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, Explorer. It's tweet related. Yeah, I don't know. It's surreal. You know what I mean? I don't know. I can't get that out of my mind. Yeah, the world is a lot smaller. The internet has done that. The world is a lot smaller. I mean, look at this. We've got Trip and Vintage from Australia and Laic out of Norway, and and we can just jump on here and shoot the shit with each other. That blows my mind too. That seems surreal that I can just get on here and relate to people in Australia and Norway. That's just awesome to me. I can't get over that. I don't think I'll ever. Chaz is in the house. He's reloading. Everybody sit down for a second. We gotta wait for Chaz to reload. Aloha, Chaz. What's up? Glad you could make it, man. I'm just giving you shit, dude. Chaz is Gen X though. He's not gonna get offended. Yeah, Laura Ann, more flies with honey than vinegar. There's a lot of wisdom in those old sayings. Really, you can put those sayings, attach those sayings to just about any area of life, government. What do you call that? The geopolitical bullshit, and those things still work. They still make sense. Wolverines. Yeah, bullies. You got that right. Yep. Oh yeah, we get it. Yeah, hell yeah. Wolverines. Yep. All right, dude. Happy birthday, Chaz. Happy birthday, man. I hope you're having a good one, dude. Seriously, man. Seriously. Happy birthday. Hope you have a great one, man. Trip was AFK. Mike Fleisner, my boy Mike. What's up, dude? Glad to see you here, man. Yeah, I have my theories on that, Laic. If you look at it from the standpoint that the bank controls everything, then the United States is just the stick. We're the stick. And, walking softly or whatever, they're just swinging that stick around where they want. So, that's kind of where I'm at now. You know what I mean? Europe, England, they were the monetary, kind of the branch of things, right? With the central bank over there in Europe, and the United States is just the brute force, like an attack dog or whatever. And I go around in my head trying to figure out what the hell is going on, So, I don't know. I love my country and my countrymen. I truly do. I serve my country. I'm a veteran. I love my country. But I despise our government. The level of deceit and thievery that goes on by our government is just truly evil. There's no other word for it. It's diabolical. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. But when I talk about them using America as the stick, I want everyone to know that I'm not talking about America as a country, as as freedom-loving population. I'm talking about America as the government and the military-industrial complex. All right. The only thing they have to propagandize us and get us, at least enough of us, to believe that what they're doing is the right thing with our government and our military industrial complex and our military and all that. Mayo Monkey. Yeah, that is true, Mayo. Yeah, that could very well be the thing. That's Trump talking peace and all that. I'm peaceful and I want to bring peace to the world and everything. Well, then they might take that as weakness. I would totally get that. And then just like Mayo Monkey said, you walk, diplomacy. Everyone listens to a man carrying an axe, but sometimes you have to swing it around first. So hopefully that's what's going on. Hopefully that's what's going on. Hopefully he's just flexing a little bit and saying, "Hey, I'm not playing around here. I love freedom, but don't push me." If that's what's happening, I'm behind him 100%. Oh, okay, Trip. I will. Yeah, I will. I'll check that out. Oh yeah, April. Check this out, everybody. This is my nostalgia shelf. My wife got this. This is my wife's addition to the nostalgia shelf. I don't use this. Never have. Just so y'all know. But that's the real deal right there. So Aquanet. We remember that. I know how this shit smells. I haven't even taken the lid off this to smell it, but I remember how it smells from when I was a teenager, having to go into the bathroom after my sisters were done in there. I don't know why, but I still love this shit. It just brings back so many memories. This font of this, the Aquanet, the font of the lettering and everything. It just brings back so many memories of my sisters and growing up. All weather. It says on here, all weather. This shit is awesome. You girls were awesome back then. So anyway, extra super hold professional hairspray. You could, yeah. This shit, and this is Aquanet is responsible for the destruction of the ozone layer, and that's why y'all know that. That's why they had to reset the timeline. And that's how the Mandela effect was created, because they had to reset the timeline because Aquanet killed everybody from destroying the ozone layer. Anyway, I figure y'all get a kick out of this. But oh man, yeah, I love that smell. It reminds me of my childhood. Butt Nuggets, what's going on, buddy? How's it going? Yeah, bullish. That's what I was saying. All weather is for everything except humidity, huh, Lauren? Special occasions, Final Fantasy. Yeah, rocket fuel. Yeah, I have used it a couple times. As you take a lighter and then you spray it like that. I used it a couple times like that as a kid. My sisters would get mad for wasting it, for seeing me waste that stuff. But yeah, that's the only time I ever used it. Oh, Big Country, what's up? Oh, okay. Working on a tiller? All right. Yeah, good honest work. You can't beat that. Glad to see you here, Big Country. Glad you can make it. Yeah, self-defense torch. Yeah. Yeah, butt nuggets. Yeah. Yep. So, but yeah, back to the whole Trump thing. And if that is the case, where Trump, people take his kindness for weakness, people in different countries and stuff who aren't our allies taking his kindness for weakness, and he's got to, he's got to make some moves to prove to him otherwise. Well, I'm behind him 100%. Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. I'm not downing the guy, but still, the whole thing, it is kind of ironic in my mind anyway. And I do that a lot. Like I'll talk about Trump, and as I said earlier, I question everything. I can't help it anymore. I question everything. I don't care, and especially the people that I support. I double question them, because if I'm gonna support somebody, and it's not external publicly and all this shit, just in my own heart and mind, if I'm gonna support them, then I'm gonna question them twice as hard, because I want them walking a tight line and doing the right thing for our population, and that's just how I am with Trump. I supported him, and I still do, but I question the hell out of him. I've got to ask questions, and so I can make it right in my head that he's doing a good job. Christopher John, what's up, dude? All right. Oh shit, you were having a show, Christopher John, and someone confronted you. Yeah, that's I don't know why they even try. I really don't, because we are known for being impervious to words and verbal abuse and all this shit. We were verbally abused our entire lives, and and somebody thinks that they're trying to be insulting or something, and it just doesn't even work on us. So they're just really wasting their time. Oh, a Gen Zer, Christopher. Yeah, I get that. I get that too. And that's one thing. There's a lot of confusion that happens, like, because I'll call boomers out for their shit, right? That went back when they were torching Teslas and all that shit, and keying Teslas and all that stuff, and protesting all this bullshit. I called them out for it, and people would comment to me, asking me why I'm blaming boomers for everything. I'm not. What are you talking about? I'm not blaming boomers for anything except the shit they did just now. I'm calling them out. Stupid shit is stupid shit. Keying your neighbor's Tesla because you don't like Elon Musk. It's just stupid. That's just stupid. And then I see a lot of Gen Z people want to blame us for everything. Like we've and boomers too. They all want to blame us, and I don't see a lot of Gen Xers shifting blame. We know we accept responsibility. Most of us anyway, from what I've seen, we'll accept responsibility, and we've had to, in order to survive. You can't keep doing the same dumb shit over and over again and blaming someone else, because a lot of the shit we did was dangerous. So you couldn't keep blaming that shit on somebody else and doing the same dumb shit again, over and over again. But I see that, and I don't know why it is. But other Gen Z and all these other generations want to blame all this shit on Gen X, as if we've had power this entire time. Like we've had control in the government and shit this entire time. Yeah, if Trump can change his mind, so can you. Yeah, Lake. Yep. Yeah, no self-preservation instincts. You're right. You're right, Trip. And they don't get it that we truly do not care. Getting on here and insulting or trying to blame or something a Gen Xer? I mean, have you done any research into Gen X? Do you know who you're talking to? Number one, your insults can't hurt us because, we just don't give a shit, we just don't care. We used to have insult battles when we were your age. That was the thing to do, was insult each other. And you are not you're not experienced enough in the arena of insults to even, you're not even throwing any decent shit my way. Yeah. Yeah, Christopher, yep. I used to catch those crawfish. Me and my brother used to catch crawfish in the creek. We would and scorpion. We would catch just anything that moved. Me and my brother was chasing that shit down, trying to catch it. I'm telling you. The Fed, well, Woodrow Wilson snuck it in there on Congress on December 23rd, Christmas Eve or day before Christmas Eve in 1913, and signed it into effect. It's a completely private bank. I grew up thinking that it was part of our government. It's got nothing to do with our government. They control our government and our economy with their interest hikes, and they fluctuate the interest however they want. But that's why we have it, is because Woodrow Wilson sold us out. And later on, before he died, he said it was the worst thing he'd ever done in his life, the biggest mistake he'd ever made in his life. But I still hope he's burning in hell for it to this day, because all of us are still paying the price for it. So why the hell? I hope they don't release him from hell until, the Fed goes away. Boomers betrayed Gen Z. Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't blame boomers for much. Wiley Ann, hey, glad to see you here, Wiley Ann. Like I said, I'm not big on throwing blame around. The boomers did what they did. They sure, they thought was best for them or their kids or whatever. They thought that, ignoring their kids or whatever was the best thing at the time, and nobody can see the future. So I don't blame boomers for anything except the shit they're doing now. If you're 70 years old and you're still got your head in the sand, then you're just an idiot. I don't know what else to say. You got to pull your head out of the sand sometime and start asking questions, and don't leave this world still ignorant and believing those bullshit lies. Z Strauss. Yeah, the Fed loves me, man. Yeah, as long as I pay my damn taxes, they love me, I'm sure. If we all stopped paying taxes, they would wipe us off the map in a heartbeat, though, I'm afraid. Yeah. Yeah. In my opinion, Chaz, that's all due to the internet with all this dumb shit. Yeah, yeah, crawdads. I've lived all around the country, and some places they call them crawfish, and some places they call them crawdads, and some places they call them mud bugs. In Louisiana, they call them mud bugs, butt nuggets. What was it that Chaz just said? Oh yeah, yeah. That I blame people getting stupid on the internet, just technology. I mean that's just what it is. They're bombarded with these TikTok videos, these dumbass TikTok videos, and all these celebrities who can barely speak coherently in any language. They're just dumb and getting dumber. They're being dumbed down on purpose. And as young children, it's just tough. It's tough to stay smart in a stupid world. I mean, all your friends are stupid. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even if you do have a smart kid, he's going to act stupid around his friends because he doesn't want to be, he doesn't want to be the dork. So, yeah, I blame it on the culture, this internet, tiny, infinitesimal attention span bullshit. It's dumbing people down on purpose. They're getting dumber. There's no question about that. Raziel Apollyon. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's probably honestly one of the best things I've ever done for myself personally. And it didn't happen until my dad was already dead and all that, it was years had gone by, but to forgive my parents for all their bullshit. Once I did that, I didn't even tell them, face to face or anything. My dad was dead. But in my heart, I forgave them and quit blaming every one of my decisions on them. And that's a young person thing. Young people do that. Oh, it's my parents and shit. I mean, I wasn't, super sensitive and offended by everything, but still, I blame my parents. Just in my mind, I blame my parents for my bad decisions. And once I forgave them for their bullshit and realized that my life was the way it was because of decisions I made, not the decisions they made when I was 10, then it really changed me inside. So yeah, that's important, and important thing for people to realize. And I couldn't agree more, Raziel. Tired of 80-year-old politicians that refuse to retire. Yes, they should be retired. They give us an age, you know what I'm saying? 65 or whatever. There's no way. Term limits are they just make sense. They're just common sense to have somebody go up there and spend literally an entire lifetime up there in Congress. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. It doesn't make sense. If you had more of a revolving door, then they couldn't build those decades-long relationships and, with companies and foreign countries and all this shit and enrich themselves. If they're in there for 8 years and then get the hell out, then they wouldn't be able to do that as much. The first couple years, you're just new and you're trying to figure shit out no matter what you're doing. So there'd be a lot less crooked thievery and bullshit if we had term limits for those scumbags. Yeah, that's true too, Laic. Yep. The school system and the death of the housewife dumbed them down. Yeah, that's true too. The education system, luckily, the best thing I've heard Trump do besides the deportations was I think they're going to redo the entire education system here in America, which was so sorely needed. We're bottom at every metric across the world, but except the amount of money spent per student. Now, that's the only one we lead in. All the rest of them, math, English, science, we're rock bottom. Our kids can't spell, they can't read, they can't add 2 and 2, but we're spending the most money on their education. It doesn't make any damn sense. Yeah, they don't. Z. Strauss, yeah. We used to read books, even if it was online. These kids don't read anything. Yep, no, they don't read books. It's all video and shit. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, Bucky, I agree. Politics should be run more like jury duty. Yeah, you just get selected at random up there. I mean, if we could pick the dumbest, garbage man or janitor or lawn maintenance guy and send him up there, and he couldn't steal any more than these crooked sons of bitches that are up there. I know that. He can't do any worse than for the American people than the people that are up there. So yeah, just yank somebody at random. It should just be a lottery. Yank them out at random and send them up there. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I never did that. Can of Aquanet and an M80. Oh, that would be awesome. Maybe I'll have to go out there and make a video like that. That would be cool. Wouldn't be a very long one. Yeah, yeah, Raziel, I agree. Yeah, if you know you're gone in 10 years, what the hell you're gonna do? You're gonna live it up for those 10 years if you can. Yeah, trip. That's what we need to do, right across their forehead. In case of apocalypse, break glass. All right. Yeah, we gotta throw out the apocalypse out there once in every video, every live stream. We got to talk a little bit about the apocalypse. Oh yeah, they use the sunspots to pick them. Okay. Yeah, Philip K. Dick's. What? There's one movie. Oh, didn't he write? Um. Now I'm gonna. That. Oh man, one of my favorite movies about the androids and the Blade Runner. Blade Runner. Didn't he write Blade Runner, Raziel? I think so. Crypto Billy, what's up, dude? Glad you showed up, man. How's everything going? Yeah, I don't know. There's so many good people out there, Christopher. Maybe it is in our nature. I think once you get a certain amount of power and money, I think that it just changes. Maybe it rewires your brain or something. I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing, Strauss. Yep. How are we going to get them out if they make the laws? Yeah, they just vote themselves pay raises and shit whenever they want. They pass laws against us and then make themselves immune to them. You can find one of those politicians with a bag full of cocaine, and you can't do the same thing. I mean, I'm sure they would get in some kind of trouble. Maybe they would take their cocaine or whatever, but they can't confiscate all their property and shit like we did, like they do a normal person. I mean, yeah, they make themselves immune to all those laws. It's just utterly ridiculous. Yeah, yeah. Gen X is the apocalypse. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Oh yeah, Final Fantasy. That's absolutely true. The federal government was never supposed to be this far reaching. They've been doing it for decades, slowly picking away at it with the educational system. They made that federal, and they'll federalize certain things, and they'll make a problem, and then offer a solution where the federal government will step in and take this shit over, and then 3 decades later, the solution turns out to be 100 times worse than the problem was. When the federal government took over, our education system was awesome, but now it completely sucks because the feds took over. It's just downright. It's just retarded. I mean, what the hell else are you going to say? It's just retarded to keep letting those morons and those thieves and liars keep sticking their hands in our shit. Oh, doing good, man. Working a lot. Working a lot, but other than that, I can't complain about that, though. Florida Cracker 71. That sounds just like me, dude. I'm a Florida Cracker 1971. I should have worn my vintage 71 shirt. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff about that and where that stuff went, Florida Cracker, but yeah. Oh, yep, Psycholic Slag nailed it. Do androids dream of electric sheep? That was the book he wrote, and then they made Blade Runner off of that, right? Then they made that movie Blade Runner off of that. Oh, okay. Exploding arrows, Raziel. Yeah, yeah, that'd be fun as hell. Anything that explodes, I like exploding shit. They figure out how to make a watermelon explode. Anything really. Uh, Soda cans, all kinds of shit. Whatever we can make explode, I'm down. I'll make that shit explode. I just like explosions. What am I gonna say? You got me. I admit it. It'll blow up all kinds of shit. Yeah. But yeah, our government, and I believe it's probably the same with every government across Western civilization, but they're just so corrupt. Yeah, Trip. Boom is an artwork. Yeah. Yeah, some guys can paint in concussion grenades. Yeah. That was one cool thing about being in the military. I got to use C4 and blow shit up with C4. We put a block of C4 on a railroad tie, then wrapped it in det cord. And det cord is like, I don't know, it's probably as big around as my pinky, but it's filled with some kind of gunpowder or something. It's a detonation cord, and we wrap the C4 around with det cord, and then we went back and I pulled the trigger on that thing, hit the clacker, and that railroad tie disintegrated into splinters. That thing was just gone, completely and totally gone, as if it had never been there. Just completely disintegrated that thing. Oh, Minority Report. I like that movie too. That's a pretty cool one. A Scanner Darkly. I didn't know they had made so many off of his stuff. I've never read any of his books. I'm sure I've read one or two, but I don't think I've read any of the ones that they made movies out of. YouTube jail. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people get their comments deleted and stuff, and of course I always get the blame for that. Like I'm deleting people's comments. I don't delete comments. Doesn't matter to me what anybody says. I don't care. We're supposed to be able to say anything we want pretty much, except yell fire in a movie theater. Yeah, simulation. You're right, Leg. Yeah. Yeah, we did too, Christopher. Blow up anthills with firecrackers. And they don't like your jokes, Chaz. Yeah, thermite. Yeah. Trip, yeah. I forget what we did with thermite. Something. Isn't that white phosphorus? Those grenades that we were told that I don't think we saw it happen though. But we had white phosphorus grenades, but I don't think I ever used one. They said it would burn right through an engine block. That thing gets so hot. Yeah, we do some. That reminds me, every time I hear something like that, Christopher, it reminds me of that movie Hangover. We do some messed up shit when we're drunk. Yeah, we did some messed up shit too. We do all kinds of crazy shit. But that was one of my favorite parts about the Army, though. We got to throw, frag grenades, regular fragmentary grenades. I went to Stinger missile training. I remember asking the instructors, because they were saying that the SR-71 Blackbird was the only airplane that could outrun the Stinger missile. So we asked them, how fast does the Stinger missile go? We can't tell you that. It's classified. Well, how fast does the SR-71 Blackbird go? We can't tell you that. It's classified. They wouldn't tell us anything about it. They teach us how to use it, but they wouldn't tell us anything about it. It was all classified. So, but that kind of stuff is cool. got to go through Stinger training and combat lifesaver training and stuff. All kinds of cool training like that in the Army, and got to experience some cool shit, ride in helicopters and all that shit. Talking cursive again. Oh, no shit. The Psychoholic Slag, yeah. I remember my buddy, and hell, he was on here a few days ago. He's the first guy that ever contacted me from my past, and it was like my best friend in the Army, and he popped up here. His name's Herringbone on here on YouTube, his handle. But he had an M249, and I was like sitting beside him, and he was laying down in the prone firing it, and it was just about getting dark, and he was rocking that bitch, and the barrel started glowing bright red, and it let's see if I can get it right. It bowed up like that, the barrel, and he was still shooting it. And I told him to stop. I said, dude, your barrel's bending, dude. But I have no idea how that round went through that barrel like that. I was afraid it was going to blow up in our faces, But yeah, it happened. I saw it with my own eyes. That shit was crazy. I'm sure now thinking about it, maybe the interior, the actual board part of the barrel, maybe it didn't move. Maybe it was just the exterior of the barrel kind of humped up or whatever because of the heat. But yeah, that shit was crazy. Yeah, lady fingers. Yep. We did so much shit with firecrackers. Yeah. Yeah, how much dangerous shit did we do back in the day? And then I look at these kids today, and they don't do any of that shit. They don't have any, how are you going to have fun, Just online watching videos and playing fake games. And I know video games are fun. Me and my buddy used to play video games when I was a kid, but hell, we'd play for a couple hours, and then we'd go outside for the rest of the day, We didn't stay inside all day playing video games and then go outside. But now there's more of a online community and all that shit. So a lot of people's friends are online. Yes, and I don't know if that's conspiracy theory to say that's by design, to get people to stay inside. And the whole lockdown thing in 2020, like, was that a test or training or what? The only place I was never deployed during combat, I actually, I joined right at the beginning of Desert Shield, Final Fantasy, and by the time, before I even got through basic training, Desert Storm had taken place, and we were victorious. So by the time I got out of basic training, it had all blown over. So, but I was stationed in Korea for 1 year, and that's a pretty cool thing. I was just too young. I was 19, so I mean, I got a lot of funny and weird stories, and you can look them up in my history, my video history. I got some military stories in there, but I just kind of wish I'd been a little older and, checked out Korea a little more, because I was just, I was at that age where, we just wanted to party and do dumb shit. I'll be honest. We did a lot of dumb shit. Oh, all right. Yeah. Yeah, Razia, we did all kinds of shit. Fireworks are like unlimited, It's like unlimited fun. The fun only ends when you run out of fireworks, right? Yeah, they don't know not to eat the laundry soap midnight. It's just crazy. Yeah. Approved by the principal to bring a dummy pineapple grenade, huh? Yeah, that kind of shit, and it was okay back then. There was nothing wrong with that, you know. It was fine to do, bring some crazy shit to school like that. So, yeah, Bucky, yeah, exactly. If we weren't walking the fine line of danger, we weren't having fun. Yeah, it had to be dangerous, at least to some extent, you know, at least risking some physical injury. Maybe we were all adrenaline junkies or something back then. I don't know. Oh, okay, Raziel. Yeah, not in a combat capacity. How long were you over there? How long was the tour of duty over there? Was it 12 months or 14 or what? Yeah, Chaz, you need to get you a vintage 68 shirt. I should make a vintage shirt for every single year and put it on Redbubble. Maybe I'll do that one of these days. Ah, you're welcome, Strauss. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I took a hunter safety course. Yep. At the high school, too. Yeah. But yeah, I've got a lot. I was in the Army for 4 years, and at, let's see, three different duty stations, Korea, not counting basic training. I was an infantry soldier, but I was a tow gunner, is what they call it, TOW. Tubular launched optically tracked wire guided missile is what it stands for. Anti-tank. I was basically anti-tank infantry, which was great. We didn't have to carry around rucksacks as much as you know, just regular ground pounder infantry. I had mad respect for those guys because they were tested every day. I didn't like that road marching shit, I'll be honest with you. Oh, okay. All right, Razio. Yeah, more recon than fighting. Okay. Oh, all right. Well, I bet, was that interesting? Aegis missile defense upgrades? I bet that was pretty damn interesting, dude. Oh, all right, Bucky. I appreciate that. That's cool as hell. Yeah, they've got all kinds of cool shit on there. I say it on all my videos. All kinds of cool shit on Redbubble there. But yeah, all Gen X shit. One of my favorite ones is that shirt you see me wear sometimes. It says, "We can fix stupid, but it's gonna hurt." That shit cracks me up. I still laugh every time I take that shirt out of the closet. Ah, cool, Raziel. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I enjoyed my time in the military. Um, for the most part, I enjoyed a lot of it. But there's a lot of, you know, like just the political stuff, ass kissing. You got to kiss the right person's ass and shit to get promoted and get, you know. And I wasn't into that shit at all. Not at all. No. So I got demoted once. I forget what even I got demoted for because I did so much shit. Yeah, all the boomers shouting, you know, orders at me and shit all the time, and I wasn't good at taking them. I was good field soldier. I would have been good, I think, if I had been deployed in a combat situation. I like to think that I would have been an effective combat soldier, but I never got to find out. Witchmaster, what does Gen X think? Is Gen X a hive mind? Nope, we question everything. If you're Gen X Witchmaster, tell us what you think. That's what this is about. Where we ask questions and let each other know what we think. Yeah, No, we don't get into that hive mind shit a lot around here. But we don't get into the whole butt hurt arguing shit either. If we disagree, we have fun disagreeing. Yeah. Unless you disagree with Chaz, then we everybody disagrees with you. Oh yeah, Chaz, MRE heating element. Yeah. Oh yeah, I still remember how that water tasted out of that when the hard plastic got warm. Got hot, and the smell of that green canteen. Yeah. Oh, great concussion grenade. Okay, no, I never did that. Oh, okay. So you put the heating element inside of a bottle of water. Oh, I got it. And then the heat swells it and it explodes. Okay. So you weren't talking about the hard plastic canteen, huh? No, I wasn't. I Raziel, I just didn't do well in Garrison. You know, I just didn't do well in Garrison. I wasn't a good Garrison soldier. I really wasn't. All the spit shining, and I mean, not that I was nasty or anything. I kept myself clean and my clothes clean and shit, but all that spit shining and shit just to kiss ass. If somebody showed up with their boots weren't completely shined, it was me. But I won quite a few Army Achievement medals out in the field, during training and stuff. So I was good. I was good at land navigation, good at shooting, good at all the tactical stuff. I was just bad at all the bullshit stuff in Garrison, pleasing the upper ranks and kissing their asses. I wasn't stunning at that. Yeah, we did, Trip. And I've said before that's one of the coolest things I've realized about, when from doing this podcast is that we're Gen X, whether we're in Australia or Norway or I don't know about Norway. Those Norwegians are kind of strange, but Australia or England or Germany, we're all Gen X. Oh, Z Strauss. Yeah, the downfall of humanity. Yeah, all that shit is anything that's anti-population, that's there. I've already seen commercials for that kind of shit, except it's not robots, it's digital, where you can have a digital girlfriend. Serious commercials by paid advertisers that real women suck, but your digital girlfriend here will send you all the pictures you want, anything you request. She'll send you pictures and videos and be the perfect mate for you and all this. So I think that is anti-human, anti-people. Lick, there you are. You haven't said anything in a while. I figured I'd throw a remark about Norway in there to see if you're still alive, dude. Yeah. Stare him down and call him stupid, huh? Yeah. Oh, okay, big country. Well, that sounds like a boy you can be proud of there. That's awesome, man. Yeah. I don't even know what THAADS stands for, but that sounds awesome. That sounds cool as shit. Thank you, Chaz. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think so. Final Fantasy. Maybe not every single one of us, but I think as a rule, we might, suck it up to support our families and to stay alive and to keep our jobs or whatever. But I think as a rule, the authority thing just rubs us the wrong way. You know, I don't think we're made for that shit. Yeah, just the whole thing, being lied to our entire lives by people in authority. It just doesn't. It just doesn't sit well with you. You know, after a while, you begin to distrust everything that comes out of their mouths. You know, and you get jaded and kind of pissed off at all the shit. So I know that I was when I was 19, and I still am. I mean, I can't stand being told what to do. I'm serious. Thank you, Bucky. Yeah. Yeah, that's important to your countries. Tripwire and everybody else overseas, y'all patriots, no matter what country you're in. Yeah, they can say that, Witchmaster, but we know we're still around. They haven't forgotten about us. They can ignore us, but we sure as hell haven't forgotten about each other. We're still here. We're survivors. Yeah, and we're forgotten. They call us forgotten and all this shit, and overlooked and all this shit, because we're not the squeaky wheel. It's our choice. It's our choice to not cry and piss and moan and be offended and be so sensitive about everything. That's why. It's not because they're so much better or so much bigger or anything, and they just overlooking Gen X because they're no. It's because Gen X isn't the squeaky wheel out there crying and protesting and burning Teslas and doing all this stupid shit, protesting for illegal immigration and all, and doing it. We just don't do any of that shit. We just like to be left alone, and we leave other people alone. Yeah, so it's real easy to overlook the person who's just leaving you alone. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we're less or something, and we're overlooked because we haven't done anything. Yeah, we're overlooked because we haven't raised a bunch of hell about a bunch of nonsense. Yeah, Raziel, yeah, a cross between Huck Finn and Lord of the Flies. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yep. Yeah, Stallion. Yeah, tell me, I've been told the world was going to end literally since the day I was born. The only thing they do is change. The type of apocalypse that's going to kill me in the next few years. It was nuclear holocaust, then an ice age, then starvation, then the oil was going to be depleted, and there was going to be massive economic crisis and all this shit, and then it was global warming, and then all this, and killer bees, AIDS. I mean, the list, literally Y2K, the list is almost endless. We could do a whole show and just talk about the list of shit that was supposed to kill us before the year 2000. And then they're going to come and tell us that the world is going to end if we don't, while they're doing the exact opposite of what it takes to fix the problem that they're spouting. You don't say that the climate is the problem and then plow trees under. For those of you who don't know, Bill Gates is funding a company that plows living trees down and buries them under the ground in the name of climate change. Yeah, it's just such a bullshit crap show. It's a clown show. Yeah, Children of the Corn, Christopher John. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we were exactly, Lake. We were taught to speak the truth. Yeah, African killer bees. Yeah, I remember that one. Now we have possible alien objects coming. Oh yeah, yeah. Anunnaki. The list goes on. And now the beautiful thing about climate change is they can kick that can in any direction down any road they want. You know, it's too many hurricanes, climate change. It's getting too cold, climate change. You know, you got too much snow, climate change. Didn't get enough snow, climate change. The days are lasting longer, climate change. The earth is spinning faster, climate change. You know, they can just go on and on and on and blaming it on climate change and just resetting the date. Climate change is going to kill us in 9 years. I thought climate change was going to kill us in 9 years. Oh, it is. Yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah, so yeah, when I hear that shit about climate change is going to end the world or whatever, that kind of shit, the world's going to end. I'm like, so what if it does? What if it does? What am I going to do? What am I going to do about it? I've got to go to work tomorrow. Regardless of your climate change, if the apocalypse was in 3 months, I would still have to go to work tomorrow. If they could prove to me that the apocalypse was coming in 3 months, I wouldn't want to be homeless for the next 3 months. So I would still go to work tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So shit. I just laugh at that shit too. Oh yeah, Christopher, me too. I want the zombies too. The zombies are a Carrington event. Yeah, some of us like it that way, Witchmaster. You damn right. Yep. Yeah, right. We've been dead 50 times over at this point. You're right. Midnight. Oh, the ozone layer. Can't forget that. We got the ozone killer right here. Yeah. Yeah, we all died about 50 times, and then we were just told to shake that shit off and get back outside. But Mom, I'm dead. Get your ass back outside and play. Yeah, Final Fantasy. Yeah, climate change happens every day. It's pretty much been the same here in Florida since I was a kid. I was a kid growing up here in the 70s, and it's still 97 degrees. Nothing has changed. It's not 127 or 117 now because of climate change or global warming. It's still the same. It's still the same 97 it was in the 70s. So I don't see much climate change down here. Singing in the acid rain. Yeah, Witchmaster. Yeah. I remember that's the one that scared me when I was a kid, though, because I pictured that, that Indiana Jones scene where the guy's face melts off when they open up the ark. So I don't know why, but whenever I heard about acid rain, that's the image that popped into my head. And that acid rain was the only one that really gave me the creeps. I didn't want to go out that way. Yeah, me too, Trip. Yeah, I wanted the Mayan thing to happen. I wasn't sure what that was going to send us, how the world was going to end. But I was disappointed in Y2K too, I'm not going to lie. So I thought that Y2K was going to be something. But we all stepped up and averted that disaster, thank goodness. But the one I really wanted was actually rooted for was Y2K at that time, and no, y'all wouldn't let it happen. The rest of the world let me down again, and then again in 2012 I got let down, and then 2020 I got let down because I assured it was going to be COVID, was the whole zombie thing. I thought it was going to be a zombie virus. I didn't think so. I just kind of hoped so in the back of my mind, but got let down again. Oh yeah, herringbone. Yeah, my dad had me riding horses and shit out there. He's a horse trainer. I was in second grade, I think, the first pony I had to break and train and shit. Yeah, we were all working at an early age. And then they started calling us slackers. Shit. We're the hardest working generation. You still ride your bike till the streetlights come on, Witchmaster? Oh, that's true Gen X fashion right there. That's hardcore. Me. Glad to see you here. I'm, yeah, devoid of any life. Yeah, I don't know. It seems, is it just me or does it seem fraudulent? It seems fake. And maybe that's just me being me, but devoid of any life. Yeah, it seems like, yeah, have you ever heard that NPC conspiracy theory? Like people are NPCs? I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe a lot of the stuff I see is because it's online. Maybe a lot of them are just AI constructs or, NPCs or something. I don't know anymore. But it's kind of crazy. It just feels so fake and fraudulent. So many lies everywhere you turn. Oh, yeah. Homemade burger with sandwich bread. Yep. And then the burger juice would soak through that thin-ass Wonder Bread. Yeah. Be dripping down your wrist. Yeah. Oh, I love those damn things. Yep. No, they still make it, I guess, Raziel. Yeah. I just got a can of it right here. Yeah, Final Fantasy, I don't know, but they called us slackers. I don't think it was because of our work ethic. I think it was because of our attitude. We weren't go-getters and, going to climb the corporate ladder. We worked because we had to, and that was it. We weren't, like, in love with our careers and shit back then, and I don't think a lot of us still aren't, but I'm not going to speak for everybody here. But we weren't in there, just going in there puckered up, kissing major ass and getting all cranked up for that corporate ladder. I think that's more of why we were called slackers than, like our work ethic or whatever. Yeah, Trip, it feels scripted. Good word, yeah. It's like, I don't know. It's not something I can put my finger on really, dude. It just feels not real. Candy, what's up? Yeah. Yep. Non-playing character. Yeah, exactly, Candy. Yeah. Witchmaster. Yeah, it's a big fat lie. And the more you look around and you start looking at shit, and it just becomes more and more obvious. Hey, glad to see you here, Candy. Glad you tuned in before the end of the show. I think we're right about in the middle of it. And we got about 45 minutes left, so you're not too late. Robert Mark Heemstra. Latchkey Kids, you damn right, Mark. Back to the Future. Yeah, I just got those DVDs. I got that trilogy on DVD. I love that trilogy. It's one of my favorites. Yeah. Wiley Ann, first generation that stands for nothing. And what the hell? In this world, honestly, what are we going to stand for? We're going to stand for war? Because that's all we get. Poverty? We're going to stand for shipping off our jobs. Because it doesn't matter. We could have stood up, against globalism and sending all our jobs overseas. It wouldn't have done us any damn good. They send them away anyway. We didn't even know that it was happening in a lot of cases. They just laid a bunch of people off and the phone started ringing over there in India. They didn't give us any warning. They just shut down a bunch of factories and they popped up over there in China. We didn't know that was going to happen. They didn't give us 10 years advance warning so we could rally protests and shit. So what's the point? What's the point in getting all riled up and standing up for whatever? Look what and here's another thing. The boomers, they wanna take a lot of credit for standing up against the Vietnam War and shit and all that, and that's great. I give them credit for that. But what did it accomplish? Did they end America fighting foreign wars? Did they do anything? Did that accomplish anything? Them doing that? They deserve credit for doing it. But what did they accomplish? Is my question. So when you see that, when you grow up knowing that, I grew up knowing that and watching on the news and shit about all those protesters sitting against the war and spitting on veterans returning home and all this shit, and they accomplished nothing. So why the hell would I repeat their mistake? Why the hell would I stand up for all this shit? And it's just bullshit. All this standing up. There's only one way to stand up against shit, and you can't talk about that. So I'm not going to talk about it. The big vitamin L distribution. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, Tripwire, Mad Max. That's one gift you gave to Gen X from over there in Australia, Mad Max. Oh yeah, Final Fantasy. Don't even get me started on Christopher Lloyd and Taxi. What does the yellow light mean? Slow down, Jim. What does that shit cracked me up, dude. I saw that episode and that scene in that episode. That shit just cracked me up. Yeah, laughing my ass off. Climate change, Chaz. Yeah, you're gonna have to get one of those injections they want to give to the cows. They're probably already giving them to cows now. We're eating that shit, whatever it is. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, Strauss. That AI is gonna kill so many jobs, and Trump's gonna get the blame for that, right? His job growth and his economy is gonna take a hit because of all AI's just destroying all these jobs. But Trump is gonna get credit for that shit, for all the job losses and stuff. And that shit was happening long before he ever took office. But he's all for AI. He wants to take off the government restrictions on these companies and their AI. So I don't know. Mad Max is why you bought a police interceptor? Yeah. Yeah, well, can't blame you for that. Everybody should have a police interceptor, dude. Yeah, everybody should have one. If you don't have a police interceptor by the time you're 55 years old, what are you doing with your life, man? What the hell are you doing with your life? You need to take a step back, reevaluate shit, and figure out how to get you a police interceptor. That's some real shit right there. Yeah. Yeah, Trip, you're exactly right. Yeah, Witchmaster. I did I forget if I did a video. I think I did a video on the Satanic Panic. Yeah, earlier a few months ago, I did a video that talked about the Satanic Panic. Yeah, so I know I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, Final Fantasy, that scene from Taxi with Jim. Yeah, that's my favorite scene too. I still laugh. I can't help it. Even when I think about it now, I just laugh my ass off. That shit was just hilarious, man. Yeah, funny as hell. Oh yeah, Raziel. Yep. Devil music. That was devil music, dude. Yeah. All every one of the 14 cattle in Norway is getting the anti-fart drug. 14 cattle in Norway. They're going to save the world. What would we do without you Norwegians? Like, what the hell would we do without y'all? Huh? We just let the climate wipe us off the map? Yeah, no. We're thankful to you Norwegians for saving us. Oh, it's got the pit manover bar on the front too. All right, herringbone. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna have to Google that shit. Is that like what we would call a brush guard on a pickup truck? Oh yeah, you can't go wrong with a dually, dude. Yeah. Hill Bill, what's up, dude? What's up, man? You weren't allowed to play Hell's Bells in the 80s, man? Yeah, that I still love that song. Oh, okay, herringbone. All right, I know what you're talking about. Then with the pit manover bar, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Final Fantasy, you're from Sweden? I didn't know that. Or did I forget it? Did you already tell me that and I forgot it? Oh yeah, it's 4x8. Hill Bill. Yeah, I think it's 5/8. 5/8 by 4 feet by 8 feet. But the wall is 10 feet tall, so we had to put a 2-foot rip across the top. That's why it looks like that. If that's what you're wondering, is that where the question comes from, Hill Bill? You gonna feed 3 people beans? That's straight up evil, Raziel. You're gonna feed people beans to counteract Laic saving the planet. Laic is saving the planet by stopping cows from farting, and you're gonna counteract it. You're like the Lex Luthor to his Superman, dude. That's not cool, Raziel. That's just not cool, dude. That's straight up evil genius shit, man. Yeah. Uh-oh, everybody stop. Chaz is reloading. We gotta hit pause. Chaz cracks me up with that shit if y'all haven't noticed that yet. Oh, yeah, okay, Hillbill. Yeah, yeah, it's 8-foot sheets. We just added 2 on top because it's a 10-foot wall. Oh. Oh, all right. I didn't know that's where pit maneuver came from. Psycholic slag patrol intercept technique. Yeah, I didn't know that's where that came from. Oh, okay. Final Fantasy. All right. Your family's from Sweden, huh? I'm a straight up mutt. German, Scottish, Native American. As far as I know, those are the 3 that I know of. Probably more. Fart Wars, yeah. But yeah, that climate change stuff, and I know if you see you can look through my videos and you can see where I talk about climate change, and they'll flag me, climate change is a proven, it's driven by man and all this stuff, right? They give me some kind of flag on there every time I talk about climate change, but I do it anyway. But that whole climate change, I don't understand how people can fall for that shit, really. I mean, not hook, line, and sinker. I mean, you can question it. Hey, I wonder if, maybe people are. But you get both sides of that aisle. The both extremes is climate change is 100% caused by mankind, okay? And they neglect to understand that the climate has been changing since there was a climate. The very first signs of a climate was change. That is climate is change. That is the two things go hand in hand. We go from ice age to hot, like jungle, all across the earth, back to ice age, back to hot jungle, and that's how it's been throughout history of the planet. And then you've got the other side as, oh, climate change is a hoax. The climate doesn't change. And that's all just a hoax. You're like, no, the climate changes, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's the nature of it. What do you think? How do you think we got out of the last ice age? The climate had to change for that to happen. So just to deny that climate change is happening is also utterly ridiculous. But to blame all of the world's problems on climate change also, and they're both on the other side of each side of the spectrum, and they're both crazy to me. Trooper Byrd of Arkansas State Police pit the hell out of speeders. Yeah, what the hell? That would suck if they just pit maneuvered your ass for speeding, didn't pull you over, give you a ticket or nothing, just pulled up and pitted your ass into the ditch. Oh, shit. LJ Damaris, what's up? Glad to see you here, man. Well, yeah, Google does its thing, or YouTube does their thing, so I'm glad you made it, man. Glad to see you here, dude. Oh, all right. Yeah, we're over here in America, we're mostly mutts of one brand or another. Very few of our population is, just like pure, like pure Germans or pure whatever. Most of us are mutts by this day and age. Yeah, that's where I'm at, Candy. I've never done a DNA test for that, but I was just, going by what my parents said. For all I know, they could have been lying. I can be, I don't know. I can be from, Martian descent or something, but that's what I was told. You watched a lot of Dukes of Hazzard. I've never heard of Trooper Bird. Now I'm going to have to check him out. Yeah, Trip. They've gone back and tested the soil, and they can tell how much carbon was in the atmosphere during specific epochs in the past, and it was 3 or 4 times what we have, or 10 times or something ridiculous at different times in the past. It's just the natural, ebb and flow of the earth, the climate. And I'm not saying it's good for mankind. It might wipe us off the map. Hell, I don't know, or 99% of us. But hell, to say that they can change it by raising my taxes, I know that's bullshit. So, yeah, they can go go jump in a lake or something. As far as I'm concerned with that shit. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Lake. Let the climate decide. We're not going to be able to put the climate in a bear hug and make it do what we want. The climate's going to do what the climate's going to do. But they're using those scare tactics as, ways for control and to impoverish us through higher taxes and all this other shit, instead of just leaving us the hell alone. But that's all I want. I just want to be left the hell alone. Yeah, true. Electronic underground. Yeah, they're more dangerous to bystanders. Yep. Yeah, yeah, Candy. Yeah. Oh, really? They do, Chaz? I didn't know that. Yeah, we're gonna, me and Lake and Brad, we're gonna have a Gen X get together online next year. The first annual Gen X festival next year. 420. Of course, April 20th. So we're going to do that. We're going to make that a thing, dude. It's going to be awesome. Oh, okay. Irish maiden names. All right, Raziel. Yeah, I don't have any of those traits or anything. I'm just a total mutt. So, but yeah, the whole thing with everybody believing and buying into this climate change shit, it's hard to process. I don't know how many of you have actually talked to somebody else about that. Talked to somebody else, had a real honest discussion about climate change, and they can't give you any real answers. They just can't. All they can tell you is scientists agree. That whatever. The real truth is that scientists agree with whoever is paying them. That's the truth. Because you don't know what the hell is going to happen 10 years in the future. Nobody does. They've been predicting that shit since I was a kid. And they got it wrong every time. They never have got it right. There was no ice age in the 70s. Didn't happen. All this shit. There was no global warming in the early 2000s. Didn't happen. So it's all just bullshit. And it's hard to watch people falling for that shit, And you can't talk to them. You can't talk to anybody that would just trying to expose somebody like that to facts is just like, you're just like a crazy person wandering around in the park talking to trees, because the trees understand you and will give you as much of a conversation as some of those people. So it's really just maddening if you try to pursue that route by actually having a real in-depth conversation with a one of those climate nuts. Oh yeah. Yeah. LJ, that yeah, we should be free to pursue our endeavors, to pursue happiness, all that stuff. We should be free to be wrong. That's what freedom is, the right to be wrong, in my opinion. We should have the right to be wrong. I should be able to say the dumbest, most offensive shit on the planet and have every right to do so. Everybody, 100% of the population can agree that I'm an idiot for saying it, but that doesn't take away my right to say it. So in a really free world, a really free country, you can say that dumb shit, but that's not where we find ourselves, and we don't have the right to own anything anymore. We don't have the right to own land. We don't have the right to own anything. We rent everything now, just about. Everything that is of any importance, we rent. We don't own it anymore, and that's a large freedom. The freedom to possess, to have your own stuff without government interference or anybody's interference. That's a freedom that's been and is being stripped away from us very quickly. Yeah, Stallion. Yeah, I did another video last year sometime about that climate change prophecy that they made in the 70s. And they sure as hell did it. Leonard Nimoy did a whole series on it. Did a whole damn series about the coming ice age. Yep. Because we had a couple of really bad winters, one or two, not 10, but one or two really bad winters in a row. And so they started screaming ice age was coming and getting people scared. Because the sun fears you, Raziel. Yeah, private property, the right to private property. Yeah, Mark or Robert. And we're losing that. We're losing it. Everything's going digital. You've heard me harp on the thing before about Amazon and how you don't own any of that digital shit. Any digital movies that you buy, you don't own them. You don't own them. You think you do, but if you take 3 days and read through the end user license agreement, you'll find out you don't own them. You don't own any of that digital shit. It's all a lie. It's all a trick to make you think you own it. But one of these days, it's all going to be on there. You know, they want to put your driver's license on there, the deed to your house, everything attached to this, everything turned into digital and attached to your digital ID, and then they can just shut it off. Yeah, shut it off. Yeah, that's it, Wiley Ann. Yeah, in search of. Yep. Yeah, that's the one. And I did a video a while back about an episode he did on the Ice Age, the coming Ice Age. Yeah, Electric Music Underground. Yes, exactly. They tout EVs for being green, but do not factor in all the resources put into providing the electricity and building the batteries. Yeah, it's all bullshit. You know, people get electric vehicles and then they come home and plug them into their outlet, and then all the fossil fuels burnt to send electricity to that outlet counteracts anything that their EV would save. Yeah, Witchmaster, you're right. Yep. Gen X is the dark room, so when you start to shine too bright, they want to turn out the light. Yep. Yeah, Chaz. The whole flat Earth thing. I don't get too much into the flat Earth thing because I know some good common sense people who buy into that. You know, I just happen to disagree with them, and I can't prove. You know, with we could do experiments and have a lot of evidence, but you can't really prove unless you fly into outer space and look at it from a distance. It's hard to prove that the Earth is a sphere, but it's hard to prove that it's flat either. So it's kind of a what do you call that? A moot point. Exactly, Emmy. Part of being free is being left time in your daily life to act autonomously and not having every second already spoken for by outside forces. Yes, I totally agree with that. Oh, yeah, that's the way to go. Uh, Underground, yeah, put all that shit on hard drives, all your digital stuff. They're making it so you can't even download that shit anymore, though. You know what I mean? All the newer movies and stuff, you can't download that stuff. They don't allow you to download that stuff. Maybe somebody will come up with a way to pirate that shit or something one day. I don't know. But as far as I know now, you can't download that shit, you know, that streamed stuff. Maybe you could screen record it or something, but who wants to do that shit? Oh yeah, yeah. I've heard that, Stallion, that they'll go in. They do it now. They'll go in and edit your book that you've already bought on Amazon. They'll go in there and edit your Kindle book. Yep. And that is just wrong, in my opinion. They don't like a narrative. They don't like something. You know, something doesn't meet the guidelines anymore. Well, they just go right into your Kindle and change it. Just rearrange, delete some shit, change the wording a little bit. Yeah, I don't like that shit. That's 1984 shit there. And they don't advertise the fact that they do it, do they? Because it's round. Yeah. Yeah, we can turn our black lights on. Final Fantasy. Yeah. Oh, okay. Pirate Bay is still active. Yeah. Yeah. I was familiar with Pirate Bay for a couple years there, but yeah, I don't know how are they. I don't know how they get like a. I guess they can. They're still ripping DVDs because they're still selling some of the movies on DVD and Blu-ray and stuff. So maybe that's how they're doing it. Yeah. All right. Always be a pirates person somewhere. And and they've always tried to squash that shit. You know what I'm saying? They've always tried to kill that, but people have always found their way around it. And it's not even about not paying for it. It's about owning it. It's about having it. You know, that it's yours. Yeah. Oh, web rips. Oh, okay. I've never heard of that. That's the first time I've heard of that, Raziel. Yeah. Web rips. I'll have to Google that. I don't even know what the hell that is. Be honest. Chaz, your watch is broken, dude. It's 420 all the time for you, dude. Chaz's watch is broken. We need to get him a new watch for his birthday. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe for Chaz. Get Chaz a new watch. He won't use it though. He won't even put it on. He's just happy with it being 420 all the time. Oh, Quest for Fire. I like that one, Wiley Ann. Yeah. I still that's one of those movies I watch once in a while. I just dig that shit. Yeah. I'm not I've seen it within the last 3 years, I'd say, something like that. I like that movie. Yeah, that's one thing I've got planned for the future is getting me a stack of used books, just in case I find myself bored and reading by candlelight. That I do need to do that too. Get a stack of used books and get me a little collection going. Raziel, that's a great idea. See, Candy, I told you Chaz's watch is broken. Yeah, they're going back. They're gonna have to go back to the physical DVD. I've got a I've got a decent DVD collection going. Of course, all the good old stuff. Well, I did just pick up the first two what is it? John Wick movies in the rebate bin at Walmart. So I like those John Wick movies. There are a couple of fairly recent movies that I like. They're original. Oh, all right. All right. That's shit. I haven't spent anywhere near that. I've spent my share, though, mostly on movies, though. I haven't spent a whole lot of money on music. I bet you I've spent less than $50 on music my whole life. Let There Be Light. Yeah. Explorator, are you talking about Quest for Fire or John Wick? Quest for Fire, probably. Yeah. Yeah, that is a classic, dude. That was I don't know that guy's name, but the guy that played Hellboy, you know, and he was in Pacific Rim. That was that guy's first movie. Okay. 500 movies on DVD. Yeah, that's awesome to keep to keep your entertainment in a physical format like that. And it doesn't matter if they want to delete your account because you made a Facebook post or something, you know what I mean, that they disapprove of. Get killed for owning the old Disney cartoons, the unapproved versions, the outlawed versions. Yeah, that's going to be Gen X. They're going to be hunting us down for having outlawed versions of Disney cartoons. No, yeah. Hell, auto repair manuals and shit. Hell yeah, that shit might come in handy one day. Yeah, I've got a couple of survival books too. Mine, Ron Perlman. Yep, Razio, you got it. Yep, Psychaholic Slag, Ron Perlman. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen City of Children. I'm gonna have to check that out. Is it good? But yeah, I've got I think I still have the Army Survival Manual. I still have that. I've got some of that survival stuff, gardening books and stuff like that. You can't go wrong with that kind of stuff, in my opinion. My banana trees finally started fruiting after so many years. Finally got that figured out. Got some sweet potatoes that are going buck wild, so I'm happy about that. I can't wait to dig down in there and see what they look like underground, but the plant above ground is looking awesome. So Witchmaster, don't say that, man. Society won't crash anytime soon. Oh man, that's just that's just raining on my parade, man. That's like pissing on my birthday cake, dude. You're talking to someone who's kind of hoping for it a little bit, at least a little. Oh yeah, yeah. Those manuals are awesome. Every car I've ever owned, I think I've had the manual for. It just makes sense to have it. Oh, City of Children is an odd bird. Final Fantasy. I'm gonna have to look that up though. I'm gonna have to check it out. The Anarchist Handbook. Yeah, is that a survival book? Yeah, we're still working on it. Raziel, we're not done yet. We got time. It could still happen. I'm telling you, I've been I'm not trying to make any predictions or anything. I've seen other people make predictions, the people in power, but they say that 2030 is the great reset and all that shit. So it wouldn't surprise me, but to say a generic word like that, reset, reset could be anything. It could be any kind of reset. They could just reset the internet to a new updated version. I don't know. So who knows what the great reset is? Oh, back to 68, really? Oh, that's cool. Are they old? Are they old physical copies, Psychaholic Slag? Oh yeah, that sounds like a good one to have. The Sufficient Life and How I Live It. Yeah. Self-sufficient life, right? Yeah, no. No, not unless it's Raziel, not unless it's life or death situation, and I'm not gonna buy any bugs to eat. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go out and bust my ass to purchase bugs to eat. Now, if it's post-apocalyptic scenario and that's all that's around, shit, I'll eat some bugs, to stay alive. But I'm not busting my ass and eating bugs because my masters told me to save the planet from climate change. Yeah, they can go piss up a rope. Yeah, no, not me. Oh yeah, there we go, Chaz. Skydive from 23,000 feet. Earth is not flat. All right. Yeah, I remember flying to Korea and I could see it from up there, and it just wasn't flat. And then when I was flying around the curve of the Earth, the sun was going down, so it just stayed in front of us the whole time, right? The sun didn't go anywhere. So it was actually an hour or two earlier when we landed. It was an hour or two earlier than when we left because we were slowly going faster than the sun was setting. So, yeah, I just, just real actual experience in my life tells me that the Earth isn't flat. But I just don't like, hacking on people who like to believe it's flat. If that's your thing, yeah, more power to you. It's everybody likes their rabbit hole, and I don't want to kill anybody's fun. You know what I'm saying? Who gives a shit? Let the dude believe it's flat. Hell, have fun, have at it. No skin off my nose. Yeah, that's one I need to get. Underground Wild Edible Plant book. Yeah, that's one I want to get. Yeah, mealworms for the chickens. Yep. Yeah, Wiley Ann. Oh, okay. Dave Gingery's Build Your Own Machine Shop. All right. That sounds like a good one, Raziel. What? Torradial Field? Candy? What's that? Oh, yeah. No, it's just true. It's when I flew to Korea. Yeah. I was surprised. I was 19, and I was surprised. I'm staring at it the whole time. I had a window seat, and I'm looking out, and the sun isn't going anywhere. And it was a 15-hour flight. It wasn't like, it was a 30-minute flight or something. It was 15 hours. So watching the sun just hang there for 15 hours is surreal. Yeah, we're used to seeing it move in that amount of time. And of course, in 15 hours, I slept quite a bit. You go to sleep for a couple hours and wake up and the sun's still in the same place. It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I don't. That's one thing I don't know about. Another thing we like to get into is if we went to the moon. I don't know. I'll be honest. Just like I don't know. I don't know hardly anything. But I don't know if we went to the moon or not. Um, but in just my suspicion is that we faked a few, at least in the beginning, and then if we did go, uh, that it was the last couple that actually went or whatever. I think that the first one or two were faked. There's a very good argument for that. There's a lot of good evidence for that. So that's just my opinion. Some people get mad even suggesting that any of them are faked, but just our government, I just think they lie. I know they lie. So to say, oh, no, they told me the truth this one time, I can't do it. Yeah, I can't do it. So, I could be wrong. Chaz never wears a watch. Yeah, I knew it. Edible books. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That is a good idea, Lake. Oh, an altimeter, Chaz. Oh, okay. All right. All right, Candy, I get it now. Yeah, I've seen pictures of those, or the the effects of them from a magnet or whatever. Oh yeah, yeah, underground natural healing books and also first aid like trauma and just life saving procedures. You know how to apply a tourniquet correctly, how to suture a wound, how to stop bleeding, and those kind of things. Those are good, that's good knowledge to have. Oh, I believe we went Psycholic Slag. I just don't. I'm not sure if we went every time that the government told us we went. Yeah, yeah, Bucky. That's where I'm at. They lie about everything. To say that they didn't lie about that, I would just. I got to question it, just because of who's telling me. To be honest. Yeah, yeah, Raziel. That's always a good idea. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's hard to say. Why aren't they mining asteroids and shit by now? We've had the technology. We went to the moon, and so why aren't we on the moon? Why haven't we built a base on the moon? Why haven't we started launching from the moon? Why are we still launching from the planet Earth? We could have built a base on the moon. A lot less gravity, a lot easier to lift off, a lot cheaper to launch from the moon. We could be mining asteroids instead of ripping our planet out from underneath us, poisoning our streams and rivers and oceans. None of it makes sense to me. So I don't know. I don't have any of the answers. I just have questions. Hopefully one day I'll have answers. Maybe Ozzy Osbourne has the answers now. I think he's the only one. Well, not well, Hulk Hogan too. Anybody, maybe. My point is that maybe when we die, we get to know all the things, all the answers to all the questions we had. Yeah, if you loved Looney Tunes, you're an outlaw. We're always on the same wavelength, Trip. Yeah, yeah. There's no reason not to have it, Big Country, a survival library. I mean, shit. You know, it's just common sense to me. I mean, any emergency, look at all the hurricanes and stuff that happen and where you might need it. You might be out of touch for weeks or months, just not because of an apocalypse, just because of a localized emergency. So, yeah, Big Country, I completely agree with you. It's a necessity. Oh, Jeff 7. Refuge Medical does great hands-on first aid classes. That would not be a bad class to take. I'm serious. Just day-to-day life, that would be a good class to take. What a Mostly because there's no air in space and nothing for the rocket thrusters to push against to drive them forward. Wouldn't they be pushing against the moon? Or is that maybe I'm missing some science here. Maybe I'm just ignorant, Witchmaster. But it seemed like it would push against the moon, and then the rocket's thrust. There wouldn't be anything pushing against the nose. No atmospheric resistance, so you would move faster. But maybe it's just my ignorance leading me down that path. Yeah, yeah, there could be anything up there underground to exploit. There's no telling. All right, it's that time. I hate to cut it off, but it's 6 o'clock, so man, that's the quickest 2 hours of my life, I'm telling you. I love hanging out with y'all. Now we gotta wait another week to do this again. So, all of y'all, thanks for showing up. I sincerely appreciate it. You know, you really don't know how much I enjoy this shit. Talking and getting ideas from y'all and reminiscing about the good old days. And I've learned so much from you. Really, I learn something new every single one of these shows I do. I learn something new. I've learned so much from Laic and Trip, and all the rest of you that I can't even start going down that list. Big Country. So I want to thank all of y'all for showing up and spending some time with me. Raziel, Candy, Tripwire, Big Country, Robert Mark Heemstra, Final Fantasy, Witchmaster, Jason Lamour, all my people, Psychoholic Slag, Jeff 7, Chaz, of course. We know he's reloading right now, so he's not going to be able to answer. Who else? Electronic Music Underground, Bucky Nave, April Lucas, Laic Gullickson. So I like to say goodbye to as many of y'all as I can. Laura Ann, Emmy. Did I say Psychoholic Slag? Final Fantasy. All right, let's see. See if there's anybody else that I missed. So, Stallion 45. All right. So, goodbye to all of y'all. Thank you for showing up. I sincerely appreciate it. If I didn't say your name, I apologize. I'm just trying to scroll through. We had a lot of comments today. I just scroll through the comments to try to find everybody's name, and I just read them off. So hopefully, if I didn't get you this week, I'll get your name next week. Did I say goodbye to Jeff 7? Florida Cracker. There's one I forgot. I'm sure I didn't say Florida Cracker yet. So, thank y'all for showing up, and I sincerely appreciate it. I have so much fun. We'll do it again next week, and have a great week, and I'll leave you there with that. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.